Welcome to the science class. Learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to know to recognize what are fossils and how they are formed, to compare the hardness of different types of rocks, to describe rocks on the basis of their characteristics like permeability, to relate the properties of rocks to the uses of rocks, to tell what are gemstones, to differentiate between precious and semi-precious stones with examples, to know what is soil, to recognize how soil formed. Dear students, do you know about fossils? Fossils are the remains of living things that lived long ago. Some animals are quickly buried after their death. Over long periods of time, the body parts of animals are squeezed and buried more under the rocks, and finally they are preserved as fossils. What is meant by the hardness of rocks? The hardness of rocks means its ability to withstand scratches. Can granite scratch marble? Or a marble can scratch granite? Or which rock is more harder? Marble cannot withstand scratches, but granite can withstand scratches because there is no scratch on granite, so it is harder than marble. Different rocks have different hardness, and we can compare the hardness of different rocks too by doing the scratch test. Dear students, let's discuss about the permeability of rocks. What are permeable rocks? The rocks which allow air and water to pass through them are said to be permeable rocks. For example, clay, sandstone, and limestone. What are impermeable rocks? Rocks which do not allow air and water to pass through them are said to be impermeable rocks. For example, marble, granite, and slate. Students, do you know rocks with the cracks or spaces like pores between the mineral grains are usually more permeable? Dear students, can you see these colorful stones? What do we call them? We call them gemstones. What are gemstones? Gemstones are precious or semi-precious stones which are used in jewelry, which may be rocks or minerals found in rocks. What are precious stones? The gemstones which are expensive and rarely found. For example, rubies, emeralds, diamonds, and sapphires. What are semi-precious stones? The gemstones which are less expensive as compared to the precious stones, but these are also rarely found. For example, garnets, topaz, aquamarine, peridot, opal, tourmaline, amethyst, lapis lazuli, and turquoise. Let's discuss about soil. Students, do you know about soil? Soil is a mixture of pieces of rocks, earth particles, and humus, which is the remains of plants and animals. From where these rocks or particles or mineral grains come to make soil? Yes, from weathering of rocks. Do you know what do we mean by weathering of rocks? Weathering means breaking down of rocks over time into stones, pebbles, and small particles by the action of water, wind, extreme temperature, and heat from the sun. How can water weather down rocks? Water has a great penetrating power. It can cut the rocks into smaller pieces and make stones and pebbles. How can wind weather down rocks? When there is a strong wind, it can cut rocks into smaller pieces and changes into stones and pebbles. With the passage of time, these stones weather down into smaller particles of soil. How can heat weather down rocks? Due to heat from the sun, the rocks will become dry and it will produce cracks in the rocks. Such rocks can easily weather down into stones and pebbles. Students, do you know what is humus and how does it form? Humus is the remains of plants and animals. When plants and animals die, their bodies break down into smaller pieces, which are called humus. Humus mix with the small pieces of rocks to form soil. Humus is useful for plants' growth. It provides important minerals. It's checkup time. After buying a diamond, Sharifa's mother was not sure whether the diamond was real or fake. How can she find out? Hint is diamonds are very hard. Let's check the answer key. Since diamond is very hard, Aisha's mother can try to scratch the diamond she bought with other stones or rocks. If it is scratched by the other stones or rock, it is fake. Let's conclude our lesson. Fossils are the remains of living things that lived long ago. The hardness of rocks means is its ability to withstand scratches. If rock can hold liquids or gases, or let gases and liquids pass through them, such rocks are said to be permeable. Rocks which do not allow air and water to pass through them are impermeable rocks. Gemstones are precious or semi-precious stones which are used in jewelry, which may be rocks or mineral found in rocks. Soil is a mixture of pieces of rocks or particles and humus, that is, the remains of plants and animals. Weathering means breaking down of rocks over time into stones and pebbles and smaller particles by the action of water, wind, extreme temperature, and heat from the sun. Humus is the remains of plants and animals. When the plants and animals die, their bodies break down into smaller pieces which are called humus. Humus mixed with small pieces of rocks to form soil. Humus is useful for plants' growth. It provides important minerals. Let's move towards the home task. Learn and revise the main points from book page number 116 to 125. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Do not forget to complete your home task. See you in the next lesson. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.